All right, darlings, welcome in. This is a twin flame energy reading right now. Let's see what's going on with our twin flame collective. Whatever I'm tapping into, this may or may not be your twin flame story, but feel free to swap around the energies. Also, you can take these readings internally, meaning internally. So you have a masculine and feminine inside you, and you can look at the energies of the masculine and feminine as if, right? This is really about you, you and you, okay? Your relationship with you. We'll plug into the Twin Flame Collective right now, whatever set of twin flames I'm connecting with. Not all of them are on the same timelines. All right, let's see where we go. Next week, we're starting with Pathfinders. We're starting my 2024 project on developing your intuition. So first lesson starts next Wednesday, January 31st. If you want to jump on, it's a great time to do it. Okay, link in the description box below. Soulmate. Okay. Trust and transmute. So some of you are dealing with the energy of having your twin flame in a relationship with another person. And you may well call them a karmic. They are. But I want us to get out of the habit of using the term karmic as a negative thing, okay? Because twin flames are also karmic to each other. There's karma created with every action, every relationship. And the karma I'm looking at right now is one of betrayal and this energy of trust. So this is the opposite side of the same coin, trust and betrayal. And some of you are feeling betrayal from that twin flame. Some of you are feeling betrayal internally, like, no, pushing back on any kind of twin flame journey you might be in because of betrayal. Or because of you betray yourself. Just like turn around the pronoun to how do I betray myself? Because when we attract in, and I do not want to activate your victim archetype, because when you're in victim archetype, then you just think the world happens to you. And that's not a very powerful place to be. It feels like, things are just coming at me and I have no idea how this is working or what's going on. And, definitely with that intuition work that we're doing this year in 2024, I want to kind of show you how when you're in victim identity or in a wounded ego or a wounded identity, you're definitely not seeing your own power. And it's like everything is just sort of collapsing on you. And I want to say to you that now we have Pluto in Aquarius. This is much more about something that is for a higher good, right? It's like, okay, we can get really focused on our own twin flame journey with another person or within ourselves, but we have to kind of understand this is about a tapestry of us and about embracing that journey. Because our job is here to help others understand the energy of unconditional love. That doesn't, chew. Yeah, that's big. Thank you. Big confirmation. I didn't even sneeze, but boy, it just felt like it rolled through me anyway. I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding of what unconditional love is. Some people, when you're thinking about unconditional love, and right away, somebody's doing this, right away, they're like, no, that person betrayed me or something like that. Unconditional love is about having no judgment with another person, having no need for checks and balances, no need for something is just naturally balanced when one is not in that energy of mistrust. Okay. And so what you're doing is you're not working on the relationship with the twin. You're working on the relationship with yourself. That's how twins come into union, is you heal yourself. So it's not about focusing on that person. It's about focusing on what inside you is, rageful about this, what inside of you misunderstands the energy of unconditional love, because unconditional love starts here. Okay. You're giving that to yourself. And when you're giving that to yourself, you're not chasing, you're not people pleasing, you're not codependent, you're not none of those things. It's like impossible for those two things to exist at the same time in one person. Okay. So underneath, this is the energy of the collective. And then I'll pull cards for divine feminine and divine masculine. In the extended, I'll pull cards for each zodiac sign for guidance. Okay. For each of you. And we'll see where we go with the reading. I'll tell you what's going to be in the extended. Knight of Cups underneath, Four of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, Knight of Swords, and this Two of Wands. Okay, so there's definitely, I've been seeing this for a while, that there is new desire, new connection ginning up between this set of twin flames. One of you is holding back and one of you is crying over the loss last time. Legitimately. Okay. This is not about like casting blame or anything like that. Wheel of Fortune is coming in. This is Jupiter energy. This is about how do we heal ourselves? How does that work? And I think we're, some of you are getting a lot of telepathy. For whoever last night, I was talking about the energy of telepathy. I think it was all the last couple days. The energy of telepathy and making a new decision, making a choice about understanding your own needs, understanding how healing works for yourself, understanding what unconditional love is, being not in a victim mentality about love or anything like that. It really is about a different way of looking at it. Now, the twin, it feels to me, is holding back their true feelings. I have known that for a while. The twin does want to bring this connection in. The chaser does, if you identify as the runner and you feel like you are always having to pull away in order to feel balanced, the chaser is the one that feels like they need to be together in order to be balanced. So those two things are incompatible. When the chaser decides that they're looking, instead of like this, they kind of go inward, right? And there's this union internally, the ace of cups inside you fills to overflowing. And it's inherently a sense of looking outside of you for validation or for love or for even who you are, right? If you're not this person's wife or husband, then what's your identity? Or if you're not a vice president of blah, 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 then what's your identity, right? Like we've outsourced our identities to external sources. How much money do I have? How many friends do I have? How involved in community efforts am I? And then when you take away those identities, then who am I? And I think that's a lot of what the twin flame journey is right now. It's about understanding your identity that, doesn't have anything to do with plugging into some external 3D kind of experience. I was just thinking to myself over this weekend that I used to go around trying to plug myself into other people's lives. And when I stopped doing that, when I recognized that I would build a life for myself, and then people come into my life, people flow out of my life, but my life still is founded on my internal integration. Okay. My masculine and feminine, it's founded on that. And so much healing has gone over the past since 2008. We've been talking a lot about that with Pluto moving into Aquarius, that I feel like those of you who have gone along with me on that journey of really doing that internal integration, this may or may not be the set of twins that I'm part of. And sometimes it's not, lots of times it's not, but there is a feeling here that the masculine or the runner has to, leaps and bounds of healing. They've resisted so much for so long. there's a like a leaps and Tower, a leaps and bounds kind of feeling about this. Tower, 9 of Wands, blowing up old patterns. All right. Getting rid of old patterns. Emperor. So I feel like the feminine or the divine, I'm just going to call it runner chaser. The chaser has really understood their patterns and blown them up. No more chasing. And I'm proud of, I see all those comments about like, no, not chasing anymore. It's very much standing in your sovereignty. I know this is divine masculine and it could be reversed. It could be a chaser as a divine masculine energy right now. I could be plugging into that. Let's see where we're going here. Knight of Pentacles, Hanged Man, 7 of Cups. Okay, so this is chaser energy. Whoever is the leading, and I feel like this is mostly divine feminines. Divine feminines are the rise of the divine feminine. They're leading the masculine in this transformation. The masculine right now, Knight of Pentacles and the Hanged Man and the 7 of Cups. Very unsure, very lack of clarity, sitting really heavily in the 3D and needing to see things from a different perspective, but kind of not knowing how to do that. Okay, not knowing how to do that. 8 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Swords. I feel like the divine feminine, this is about a collective energy of a divine feminine who is sitting in her sovereignty. So if you haven't made that turn yet, that could come soon with this Tower. And really blowing up those patterns. Look at this. I never noticed this in this card before. It seems like, you see down here, it almost seems like the wall around the castle has fallen. Right? Like he could just step right over that. It's not a battlement. It's not a moat. It's not a defense mechanism. It's come down. Okay. So the feminine or the, I'll just call it the feminine. Let's just stick with that. The feminine has stepped into that sovereignty, and they will allow that masculine to step over that into the connection again, because they're not worried about being hurt anymore. Not worried about plugging their lives into somebody else. Not worried about how it's going to look in the physical. There's a level of trust that comes with internalizing and transmuting your lessons. There's a level of confidence. It's self-confidence, because there's no such thing as like 100% healed. I reject all of those shadow elements. No, the point of shadow, in order to have good intuition, in order to allow love in your life, especially allow the twin flame journey to come together in union, your Ace of Cups must be full internally. You must do that. And I wrote something this morning that I want to share with you, just a little note to myself, that, the key to working with intuition is don't shy away from your shadow. Your shadow is the thing that's keeping you in a place of either confusion, and divine feminine, you might be teaching that to the masculine, that there is a reality of being in the 3D and not having to know or having any perfectionistic tendencies, which keeps you from your intuition. Okay. And also, you don't have to know everything, but the masculine is feeling like, no, I can't move forward unless I know everything, unless I know where it's going, where everything's going. But if you shy away from your shadow, that's a perfectionistic technique that people use. Like, I won't make this decision unless I know 100% the full journey. And that's not real. That doesn't happen. That's not a thing. Okay. Especially on the twin flame journey, your job is one cobblestone at a time. Okay. Your job is to make the decision, to do the healing work, and to be open to the connection. Okay. So in terms of shadow work, the first part about shadow is people shoving it down. people not wanting to look at it, people pushing things away. And because it's like unseemly, it's like something about myself I don't like, or is triggering to me. Triggers are your roadmap, baby, to healing. And that's the first lesson, is awareness. So when you get triggered, that's about awareness. That's part of the shadow work, is, oh, that's a thing. Okay, that's a thing. Like, even like the word chaser, like I feel as a divine feminine, an integrated divine feminine, I believe, because I have seen the progression, that that term chaser feels pejorative to me. It feels like an insult to me. And it's like, no, 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 I want them to chase me and all that. That is my early journey. And now I recognize that, no running, no chasing, do your work. Okay. So awareness is the triggers of awareness are the first path. Then it plays hide and seek with each other, which is where the masculine is right now, which is coming in and out of triggers, coming in and out of awareness, falling back into ego, not, there's healthy ego, but wounded ego. And this whole idea of, I don't know, it's more like loops and cycles and elevation this way instead of a linear path, which the masculine is super used to. And so this is different, but we play hide and seek with our shadow all the time. And then we roll back into a shadow that we come up against, which is like a fortress. And then that's why we have towers, to make that fortress fall, so that we can ultimately do battle with the dragon that's in that in that castle. And here's the 411 on that. Like, the dragon does slay you. Okay. Because it's not about the ego of victory. It's more about the lesson incorporating in you. So the dragon slays you. Yes, that's true. But then there's sort of a sense of like neutralization. Like, you're willing to look at it because it's like, oh man, right? So you're willing to look at it. That's where the real work takes place, is the neutralization of our and the transmuting of our shadow, so that we can make friends with it. So then we integrate it and we embrace it, and it becomes a superpower. All right, that's the process. So I do want to use this deck too today. So the divine feminine, I feel like, has gone through a lot of towers. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is Carolyn Mace's deck. This is I've talked about her in the past, archetype cards, which I've used for many years. This is a brand new one. And I spent some time in Vancouver at Carolyn Mace's workshop, and we were talking a lot about this archetype shadow work kind of process. And what I'm seeing here now is divine feminine is really being asked to embrace, right? So we're at the divine feminines are at the juncture of embracing that shadow. And when we transmute that energy, not only do we become sovereign, here's the emperor, but we also we become hermit. We become the one who shines the light for the masculine. And the light attributes of hermit are seeking solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. There's a shadow attribute, which is withdrawing from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need. So you could see at some point, some of you who are becoming hermits, divine feminines, which I have definitely, you can see the shadow aspect of withdrawing out of fear, but that was just your hermit archetype trying to make its presence known. And, it's time to embrace that. Any kind of fear that comes up around other people, especially the divine masculine, what I was talking about, like, no, I don't want to deal with them. And any kind of fear that's coming out, it's time to transmute that. Okay. And hermit, you're shining the light for the masculine. So my question was, before the thing jumped out, what do you need more of, divine feminine? So, what do you need more of? Gambler, taking a risk. Okay. With that hermit archetype, it's time to, the light attribute is willingness to follow your intuition, even when others doubt you. So you're needing more of that hermit and more of that gambler. What does the divine feminine need less of? Wow. Prostitute. Okay. Light attribute accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. The shadow attribute of prostitute is placing material considerations and security above self-empowerment. So needing less people pleasing, less selling of one's soul. Okay. Anything less for the divine feminine. Student. Humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. The shadow attribute is arrogance in pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. Okay, so that connects with that gambler. It's like you have all this knowledge, you have all this awareness. We've been talking about this for 6 years now on my channel. So what is the action? The action is to trust enough to transmute all your patterns so that you can integrate with this soulmate. Now, what does the divine masculine need more of? The alchemist. Light attribute is the transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. They need more of that alchemist. The shadow aspect is misuse of power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. They need more of the light attribute to begin to alchemize everything that they're learning from you, divine feminine, and transformation of base motives and goals into wisdom, which is hermit, which is what the divine feminine is needing more of. Vampire, really? Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. Okay, the masculine needs to see when they are being a vampire and when they have vampires in their life. Needing to see that, needing more of that. Needing to see that maybe a job or a career path or how their relationships are, that they've attracted a lot of vampires. What does the masculine need less of? The Knight. There's the Knight of Cups there. Loyalty, romance, chivalry, a love of honor. So the less of is the shadow attributes. Allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle. Romantic delusions. So this can be about being connected to karmic energy. They need less loyalty to karmic energies. Oh, and this one came up. Liberator. This is about, oh my goodness. So some of your divine masculines have been shadow rescuing in a romantic relationship, in a karmic romantic relationship. They need less of that. Okay, they need less of that. You don't need to rescue divine masculine. Okay, and less of, I'll get one more, please. Oh, I got two here. Scribe and seeker. So they need less of, it's like altering facts or plagiarizing another's work. They need less of that. They need to do their own thing. Thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. So they need to, instead of just taking others' work in wholly, like let's talk about Carolyn Mace, they need to take the information that they're learning, maybe from the feminine, and make something their own. It's not like they're just going to take what the feminine brings. The masculine is going to bring their own. Oh, do you see what I'm saying? So like, it may be that the feminine is shining the light on the path as the hermit for the divine masculine. And they're doing that in order for the masculine to see their own alchemist, their own seeker. What is their contribution? What is their contribution? And I feel like some of the masculines have been knocked down to such a level that they don't see their own wisdom. They don't see that. And they might be working together with the feminine. A lot of you are going to be working together as twin flame couples. And it's important to let the masculine bring in their lessons too. I think because the feminine has been doing this a lot longer. This might be like a woof, like all of a sudden the masculine is bringing the wisdom, baby. Wow. All right, we're going to keep going. I'm going to pull cards for each zodiac sign. I'm going to keep going with this reading too. All right, we'll go deeper into it and see where we go. I feel like y'all don't see where this is headed, so let's find out. All right, link is below, Twin Flames. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.